Right. So, how does it sound? Really? You're gonna fucking do that? Come on. So, how does that sound? Cool. Had to check. You know. What we got here today? I'm gonna smoke while I do this job. By job, I mean this hobby of streaming shit. What we got right here, though, you see it, the quartering. This dipshit, right here. Dude is definitely dumb as fuck. And, oh, what was it? I saw the thing. Where is it? Did he get rid of it?
What's going on, bro?
Yeah, shut up, Jeremy. Okay, okay, so he has a video out. Okay, there's that. XQC got banned? I just ran into him the other day on Destiny. Steam destroyed? Really? Steam got destroyed? Really? Is that why it's right here and opens up every single time? Or is that what destroyed is? I can't find it. He has a. Yeah, okay, it does keep getting worse for Johnny Depp, and it sucks. I'll agree with him on that one, most likely. And probably this one, depending on if it's even how he says it would be. He has a fucking video. Oh, shut up. I don't care. Nobody cares about your bullshit. I don't see it. He has on his thing here.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy?
Ah, here we go. Ethan Klein insults my wife and makes an unhinged 2-hour video about me. Just so you know, I've been checking it out, and so far, it's not unhinged.
We want to catch up, y'all, you know?
See, I wouldn't even go that. I mean, the modern day. And like,
he spends every waking moment being upset and triggered by the most inconsequential things imaginable.
And I noticed you guys have put a Karen wig on him on the left. Is that what I'm witnessing?
Correct.
Interesting.
So, moving on, Jeremy is a bona fide culture crusader. He gets triggered very often by stuff that happens in pop culture, as well as politics. But the first example, if you will move on to the next slide, is about a remake of the show She-Ra. Netflix is doing a remake of an old show, which was about He-Man's sister. He is triggered about the redesign. He doesn't like that the new updated version of the character doesn't have big boobs anymore, essentially.
This is entirely true. He went on a fucking rant.
It's look, it's not like dudes are out there trying to, jerk off to a cartoon.
I guarantee you do. I'm not gonna lie, I watch hentai. What the fuck? Yeah. But not this. This is the kids show. This is a kids show. This is not made for jerking off to.
Get it.
Something tells me he is. You know? Especially like a kid's show, dude. It's not like hentai, bro.
But
Yeah, see?
Premiere from the
So I want to kind of see what he goes over on here, because I scoured this. I didn't watch the whole damn thing. It is really long. I mean,
The record. He goes, after a week, Dollar Shave Club replied on why they terminated my partnership. They claim it is because of performance and not because of my political affiliation. The data supports their claim. They shared the data with me. I am unsure why they didn't tell me that in the first place. Wow, you are a fucking idiot.
see? I mean, I don't see anything unhinged in here.
Twitch responds, Pokemon should be banned from Twitch. Yikes. Ruby Rose goes for Brie Larson. Brie Larson barely in Adventures. Critics say Captain Marvel only gets 50 minutes. Oh my goodness, dude. I mean, who thinks about Brie Larson this much? It's just so weird. Like, why Brie Larson?
multiple days starting in September. Why might she?
What? That's the evidence? Is just some random casting call? But it's very normal, by the way, to do that. I don't know why. Right?
So let's see.
So obviously a lot of people gave me a lot of grief for making so many videos about Brie Larson. The thing is that they didn't understand is that I'm a huge fan. Brie knows I'm a huge fan, and that's why she sent me such a wonderful gift. Thank you, Brie. A lot of people said, hey, you made 20 videos on Brie Larson. Are you obsessed? No. I was giving the people what they wanted. And because of that, look at what Brie sent me. A beautiful Brie shed. Now,
See, no, I don't see anything that's unhinged. So
Ordering, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm rallying a little bit from being sick this morning, getting a bit of a late start. But I should have 4 or 5 videos for you today. A new news-ish story popped up across my timeline today, and it appears that Ethan Klein has uploaded a video about me. Not just any video, a video that is 2 hours in length. 2 hours in length. Nobody has the time to watch that. Let me just TLDR for you. He takes basically the same boring old, little 10 greatest hits from the far left. The whole yikes. We're gonna take every joke extremely out of context. We're gonna look at really old videos.
Yeah, this guy, massive fucking pussy. Oh, it's all just jokes, bro. It's all just jokes. No, it's not jokes. You dipshit. We know what you're about whenever you start doing that kind of thing. You start making quote-unquote jokes, and it's just for comedy. It's just to quote-unquote be edgy. No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. I mean, Bosch, see this guy right here? He gets canceled a lot. I watch him. I'm gonna be completely honest. I watch Bosch. He makes edgy jokes. Some of those jokes, he has openly admitted he probably has a bit of a problem with women. He admits it. You're just too much of a pussy to do that.
Videos from frickin' 5 years ago. We're gonna paint him in the worst possible light, and that's okay. I know that Ethan doesn't really do any work these days anymore, and his whole shtick is I made too many videos about Brie Larson. Except how many videos has he made about Keemstar? I mean, he almost destroyed his whole career. So I mean, I think most of the criticism that Ethan Klein has levied against me is really just him looking in a mirror. I do take several issues with some of the things he said in this video, and also the fact that, in my opinion,
I was curious because in my state we have a city called Moore. Spelled exactly like this, so I was curious. Apparently you can just buy this hat on Amazon. Okay. Let me check the Google Maps.
This video
On my
being
phone.
behind a paywall, and its content is clear harassment, a clear violation of YouTube's terms of service about creator and creator harassment, which includes several shots about comments about my physical appearance, about my wife and I's bedroom activities. Brings up my wife maybe a dozen or more times.
I don't know how many times he brought up his wife, but yeah, he's making jokes about you. Yeah, get over it. You make jokes about entire groups of people. He's targeting. You don't.
Really low-brow, low-energy stuff. I really wasn't going to respond to it, but, you know, once he starts talking about my wife, like, repeatedly, then I kind of have a problem. But, you know what?
And that's actually understandable. Whenever somebody goes after your wife multiple times, yeah, you have every right to respond to what they say. I'm not even gonna take issue with that particular point. It just depends on how you respond. Because like I said, I kind of browsed over this. Didn't seem unhinged, and he made a lot of solid points about your behavior as a general rule.
I'm going to monetize Ethan like he's trying to monetize me, so I'm going to sponsor this video. Check it out. It's me. I'm the sponsor. And all I want to do is remind you that I have a thriving Discord community I'd like you to join.
One quick point. This right here. Get woke, go broke. I'll let him talk while he does his...
I have a thriving Discord community I'd like you to join. I have a strong presence on Twitter Alternative Parlor. You can find me on Twitter. And you can join my subreddit. I'd love to see you on all 4 platforms. Links are in the description of this video. You can also support the channel by clicking that join button down below, becoming a member here on YouTube, or signing up at my subscribe star, which is also linked in the description below. Both forms of support go miles to support.
Get woke, go broke. The non-quote-unquote SJW movie, Solo, specifically about the white man. 393 million. 2.6 billion for the quote-unquote SJW'd movie.
People like my wonderful editor, Sean. Or my wonderful thumbnail creator, Ben.
Here's the difference. I have no editor or thumbnail creator. I have to do everything myself, which is really hard to do. And I suck at it. No. You learn as you go.
You don't have to do these things or join these communities, but it would be neat if you did. Now let's get on with the video. Yeah, see how that works now? Ethan Klein has uploaded a video that is 2 hours in length. I skipped around in it because it's just really boring and low effort. Essentially, he clicks around and takes like, what are the top 5 things?
I will admit it was a little boring.
Things the far left says about me. It's like he talked with the young, or the serfs, or whatever the heck their channel name is, or whatever. Essentially, I make too many videos about Brie Larson or Pokimane. If I make a video about a woman, then I hate women. He calls me an incel. He calls you, all my viewers, incels. He talks about my wife several times. I barely even watched. I probably watched a grand total of 15 minutes of this. And it seemed like every little spot I picked, he was talking about my wife. My wife is somebody that remains offline, does not interact with anybody, and no, I don't believe she's fair game. Now, if your wife perhaps also makes content with you, that's a little bit different thing. But see, Ethan Klein knows.
Yeah, see, that is a thing. See, that's the rebuttal I will allow. Hey, you know, my wife doesn't do online content. She doesn't do anything with me. She tries to avoid it. leave her alone. She is not fair game. That is the issue that you should be dealing with. An 11-minute video, you gotta hit that 10-minute mark. I already know, buddy, I already know. But an 11-minute video going over that would be okay. Discussing your reasons, the individual things he said that you picked up. But, I mean, you admitted you watched about 15 minutes. I got further than that. I was at the 30-minute mark while I was getting the stream ready.
Knows how to hold a grudge. He will ruin his whole career over a grudge. And the reason he made this video is because I've been critical of him in the past. And he knows for a fact that, quite frankly, I can't respond to it. How on earth am I going to watch a 2-hour video of Ethan Klein sweating on a microphone? I'm not interested in that. The only reason I'm making this video is to make a little money off him, and also, you know, because he can't stop talking about my wife. I think he's probably jealous. I mean, my wife is a beautiful woman. She's, you know, funny and kind, and she hasn't been with Keemstar. I mean, I think that ultimately that probably bothers him. But the fact of the matter is, I think Ethan Klein is a long past relevant on YouTube and doesn't really warrant a response to this 2-hour-long video. It doesn't warrant me putting a ton of time into it. What I think is interesting is his, you know, he's very curious about the size of my junk. Ethan, if you'd like,
Oh my god. How do I do this? Is it control? It is. Do you see that? That's a single digit. That's a 3. Guys, that's a 3. Look at it now. It went from 3 dislikes and 299 likes. Like a 200-something ratio to 1. I'm bad at math. Leave me alone. But still, look at that. 32,000 likes and 23,000 dislikes? Like, what the hell? Yeah, see, here's his fucking Sims. No, I don't think he did. Like, okay.
DM you a picture if you really that.
They're, yeah, see, they're just repeating what
Curious?
here says.
He's curious about how often my wife and I engage in marital activities. If he's interested, you know, I can have my wife let you know how often. I mean, these are things that he seems very concerned about. He's concerned about the number of videos I make about somebody. Look, I get the meme that I have a bunch of Brie Larson videos. I literally did one today. So she's news. I also have a video. That video, while mentions Brie Larson, is really about the entire Avengers cast, and many of these videos are. I'm sorry if I cover relevant news. I remember when you used to do that.
You don't, though. Not really. I've perused some of your content.
Now you sit around on a dying podcast. Fortunately for you, you've been saved. You've had your career saved by this Trisha Paytas woman, whoever she is, and I'm happy for you because you know your kid's going to need some money for college, and I hope that you know this financially secures them because they're going to need it. I mean, your podcast channel is basically dead. So I mean, I think the comments here, obviously, exactly. You know, most of the video is in relative, like yeah, obviously it's a little personal because it's about me, and it's really low IQ personal shots, but it's really not that. It's really not good. I don't expect to lose any subscribers because of this. I don't expect really any issues with this. But his comment section is, of course, is full of vile, gross stuff that he's whipped up his fans into. And
True, they're pretty much the same. Yeah, he kind of. Yep. Positive. Just peed this guy 1 month ago. This was October. A month ago would have been in October. Whereas I peed in my basement person. 1 month ago. Oh. Totally different person. Baba X Baba. Brainzonto.
that's okay. I think that making this video members only, pretty interesting. I think ultimately Ethan is a very, very deeply insecure man. He spends time at the end of his video, which I skipped ahead because I couldn't possibly. And then, oh my God, it was just so low effort. Oh my God, would you be surprised if I told you that Ethan Klein took issue with my She-Ra videos from a year and a half ago? Like, it was the laziest, copy pasta from, one of the Encyclopedia Dramatica or something like that that I've ever seen. It was really offering no new criticism, just like his videos on Keemstar. But what I really want to point out here, what's important to me, is that it's obvious that Ethan Klein lives by a double standard. This video, by YouTube standards, is certainly targeted harassment. It is certainly in violation of creator-on-creator rules with the personal attacks. I don't care, and I don't think the video should be taken down.
Oh, please, you've assaulted verbally other fucking... Yeah, shut up.
But I think it's funny that Ethan seems to not have to play by the same rules as the rest of us. If I was sitting here making personal jabs at Ethan, I don't think that video would stay live on the internet very long. But that said, I don't want any of you, because I'm sure people, if he makes this video public, people will be looking for a response from me. This is my only response. Keep my wife's name out of your mouth. You can have your criticisms of me. I get it. You don't like that I made too many videos on Brie Larson. That's your opinion. That's cool. But keep my family's name out of your mouth. You spent a lot of time talking about my father. Just pathetic, low grade, lefty trolling stuff. The same stuff I've seen on Twitter forever. I get it. I'm sure that Ethan Klein certainly has some old video clips that he doesn't stand by anymore, that constantly get thrown in his face. But it's really kind of sad to see him do the same crap to me. Sure, there are things I said many years ago that I don't stand by anymore. Just like when he was talking about how women want to be, deep down they need to be conquered by men. Or when he opined about how many security guards were black, and that made that...
Well, I don't know anything about that second one, but that first one, that is actually a psychological thing about our society. Putting societal expectations on women to be submissive to men. And that's talking about, the reason for rape fantasies. that's a thing, that's a theory. I haven't looked too much into it, but I have heard people who are in like psychology talk about it. So
them different for some reason. He couldn't say why, but they were black, and that was more intimidating to him. There's all sorts of things that Ethan Klein has said over the years that I'm sure he maybe misspoke or doesn't back anymore. But he's not above using that against anybody who's ever criticized him. That's what it is with Ethan. He's very shallow, very, very thin-skinned. And he holds a grudge probably better than anybody. I have to give him credit for that.
Bro, he went over your content, mentioned your wife like twice, really. I heard it once in the early stages at some point, I think. And then somebody commented at 55. Let's check that.
But it is a common. I think Socrates.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's a really good point. And Jeremy's like, listen, I would probably coerce people to have sex with me. That's why you get power.
Based
Based as fuck. All right. Peeing on the floor of his basement. This sounds fantastic.
Yeah, this is more upbeat, I guess you could say.
Oh, sure.
So, yeah, I think you should just watch the video.
Yeah, I think I kind of self-explanatory. Let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Maybe I'm going to pee in my trash can down here. I don't know. My wife went out for pizza without me, and I'm angry about it. So I'm going to win this round, and I'm going to pee. If I don't win this round, I'm going to pee in my own basement. I don't have a toilet down here. All I have is a drain in the floor.
That makes sense about... Jeez. Go edited a month ago. Where is it? Where is he? I don't see it. That makes that comment make more sense.
What?
I feel like we're going to have to use it, though. I feel like we're going to have to use it.
Holy shit. So, appreciate what's happening. He's in the basement of his house. His wife has partitioned him to the basement. His wife cucked him for some pizza, and he's just taking it in the basement, and he's so embarrassed. He won't go upstairs to use the toilet. He's peeing in a drain in the basement. And this guy calls people cucks.
Not an insult to his wife. It's an insult to him. So...
This dude holds a grudge better than any person I've ever met. Better than any woman, guaranteed. And he will allow it to spark, battles between other content creators. And it's just sad. It's sad how far Ethan...
See this? What do you know? Oh, what do you know?
Getting in a physical altercation with another attendee, and also he was accused of harassing one of the most popular cosplayers in the Magic scene. Spoke out about
this guy. Oh my god. And you're mad about it. That's why you can't show the magic stuff in your... Right? You're not allowed to show the magic stuffs? Because you're not part of the community anymore because you got kicked out? TG headquarters, the quartering / unsleeved media has made my life hell this whole year. with his unnecessary videos / tweets about me and other members of Magic. Oh, yeah, I remember hearing about this. Didn't know it was this dipshit.
Harassment she suffered after Jeremy posted a degrading video about her and other cosplayers. So this situation, as I mentioned prior, has led to the banning of Jeremy from Magic the Gathering. And down here are different tweets.
Not one.
Okay, well, moving on, there's a little video I have for you right here where Jeremy is defending Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, is this a picture of him and Harvey together? I didn't know they were friends.
Best buds.
They look really happy together.
Maybe that's how he has the intel on Magic the Gathering's pedophile ring that he was.
Yeah, I happen to know they've been harboring pedophiles. I'm one of them.
Puts his views on Mr. Weinstein's.
And so, yeah, if he had actually watched this, he'd have probably been really mad about that one. As opposed to the one mention of his wife that I don't even remember. I clicked somewhere around here and heard something about wife with the, it's like, aren't you married? What are you going to tell your wife or something like that? So he didn't insult his wife.
Alleged victims, and then adults who made choices, and why he's tired as a white man for being blamed for everything that's wrong with the world.
Round of applause for Harvey.
These were ambitious adults. There are how many victims in Harvey's life, and I feel sympathy for them, but Hollywood is full of very ambitious people.
Okay, yeah, that's what you need to know about Ethan. Or not Ethan. Jeremy. Ordering, whoevering, dipshit. This guy. Ethan here. Covering content about the quartering here. It's content court. Do you see that? Content court. Okay. Sure, whatever.
Jeremy here from the quartering, and DMCA is getting back out of control here on YouTube, and it's started to affect not just smaller channels who are afraid to fight back, but one of the largest channels, and that is PewDiePie, as he has let his fans know that again, the DMCA system on YouTube continues to be broken. Now, I will admit that the DMCA notice and counter notification system has improved. Early on, if you're not aware of DMCA, really it's a Digital Millennium Copyright Act. Essentially, it allows copyright holders the ability to take down a video and or earn revenue off a particular video that they had a copyright to, whether it's a soundtrack, an image, or something like that. If you're not using it in a fair use format, they're allowed to claim the video and make the revenue for, which by the way, totally fine, right?
I've already been hit by demonetization and removal of a stream that I did because I listened to music while I played games. Got 10 strikes all at once, removed.
Totally fine that if you're not using fair use, then yeah, this is a good tool. For many years, the DMCA system was so bad that if you used 10 seconds, I mean 1 second of something, and they were able to claim it, they would then take 100% of the revenue from the video.
I highly doubt that, but,
If you had a 69-hour and 420-second video, and they took, and you used 1 second, the copyright holder would then be able to steal all of your money. Now, in recent history, YouTube has updated the way that people are allowed to bully YouTube creators, in that the revenue is then split. So if your video is, let's say, 10 minutes long, just for easy math, you used 1 minute of copyrighted music, they will then steal, collect 10% of your earnings, leaving 90% back to the creator, which...
yeah. Guess what? You're using their platform. If you don't like that, don't do it. You dumb motherfucker. Already, with bullshit. Like,
is I think reasonable, again, if you're not applying fair use. However, content owners or copyright trolls create mega profitable businesses making millions of dollars off false DMCA claims. I'm getting a huge amount of DMCA claims myself on an old channel. So recently, I had one channel called Unsleeved Media, where occasionally when I get the bug to open Magic the Gathering card,
and you can't do that anymore because you're not allowed to make money off of anything involving Magic.
or things like that, I put it on that channel. In fact, I'm probably going to upload some videos this weekend because I got some new cards. But nonetheless, that's not what this is about.
Yeah, I think they should. I'm pretty sure it's fucking Wizards hitting you with that because you're not supposed to be making money off the community.
I had made the mistake of joining a network, and that contract finally ended like last week. Since I terminated that contract or got out of that contract, I've been flooded with DMCA claims from bizarre companies that apparently the old MCN was dealing with that I didn't. And in fact, just while I started recording this video, let me show you this. In the last 30 minutes, I've had 3 new copyright claims.
That doesn't tell you when they showed up. And you could. Yeah, there's not even a guarantee. Okay, that's snapping tool. That's from screenshots. But yeah, there's no guarantee of when you took this.
That channel. 3. Why? I don't know. Because apparently YouTube has changed something in the DMCA system relatively recently to allow people to steal money from creators. Now again, I have no problem, zero problem, absolutely zero problem with copyright holders monetizing content that is not used in fair use. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is complaining about that. The problem is the system is so broken that anybody can just say, yeah, I own this, and now I get money for it. And I have...
Unlikely that that's how they actually do that. I'm pretty sure there are some obscure fucking companies that own some random shit. It's just a thing they do. They're called copyright trolls or patent trolls. They own the rights to a thing. They just bought them for a ridiculous reason. Are you stupid shit? And YouTube doesn't want to deal with it.
Have numerous.
So you're right. There are trolls.
Numerous copyright claims. In fact, if I really want, if I want to look back the last, let's say since November 16th. All right, you want to know how bad it is? Because this channel doesn't really earn much money, I don't fight it. Okay. Now, I'm going to out of principle. But let's just go back November 16th. That's what? About 10 days, okay? Look at all these claims. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 copyright claims. That's more than one a day I've been inundated with.
Bro, I got 10 on one video for listening to music. Okay? Quit bitching. Don't use people's shit. I'm criticizing you. This is fair use. I'm critiquing your work. This is a response to you, currently. I'll be responding to other dumb fucks. Like Shabibo. Who knows, I may go over one of his videos and be like, well, I think you're wrong here. But, I mean, I agree with him on so much shit, it'd be pretty pointless. Because I'm an anarchist. anarcho-communist, more specifically. But, you know. Okay, I don't even need to... Yeah, PewDiePie robbed again. Okay, I thought that was an actual robbery. I didn't watch any of this. Excuse me. Oh my god, he's so dumb. Okay, no, he wasn't robbed. He got DMCA'd. And it's YouTube's fault after collab with KSI? No, it's PewDiePie's fault for not doing things appropriately. Is it extensive? Yeah, it's probably a little much, but, you know, deal with it, I guess. Let's see what's going on with this idiot, though. I mentioned him. I need to see. It's over an hour long. I can't do an hour-long video. Sure.
Which brings us to the heroism of Sarah Fuller. Now, Sarah Fuller seems like an amazing athlete. Okay, she's a way better athlete than I will ever be, obviously. Right? She was the soccer goalkeeper for Vanderbilt University, and she played in the Power Five over the weekend. And she was named the Special Teams Player of the Week. And she kicked a squib kick to start off the second half of Saturday's game against Missouri. Vanderbilt lost the game 41-0. So I'm not sure, like, that's nice. Okay. And I'm not sure why that is like a major achievement for women. It seems like major achievements for women would generally be like a major achievement for a man, but a woman did it. It wouldn't be like she did a thing that a man did, but not as well as a man, and therefore it's a major achievement for a woman to do a thing that a man could do, but not nearly as well as a man would do it. Like,
it's the breakthrough from not being allowed to play to being allowed to play. Duh. That simple. That fucking simple.
That's not a major achievement. Right? A major she's an amazing athlete. She's an amazing women's soccer star. Okay, that is not the same as being like amazing on the men's team in football. That's not the same thing. And it's not a major achievement for a woman to do something that a man could do in a men's game and not do it like amazingly well. So but affirmative action applies when it comes to the way the media cover these things.
That's not really affirmative action. Do you know what that is, Ben? Do you know what affirmative action actually means? Because you kind of throw that around in weird places.
SEC announced her as the Special Teams Player of the Week. Fuller made history. She became the first woman ever to officially take the field during a football game in a major conference football game. Now, she didn't actually like take a tackle. It wasn't like J.J. Watt like went right at her, right, and tackled her, because that would be incredibly dangerous. But the announcement says she took the opening kickoff of the second half against the Tigers as her perfectly executed kick sailed 30 yards and was down at the Missouri 35-yard line. Okay, so 30 yards? Maybe better than I could do. I mean, I'm just going to keep saying that because that's where Twitter goes. Like, well, she's better. Yes, granted. She can kick the ball further than I can.
That's not where Twitter would go. I mean, people already know that you're not an athletic person. Let's face it. I'm more athletic than you, and I don't do that. I do exercise a bit, though. Somewhat. But no. The issue here is, the school decided to let her play, I guess. I don't actually know. What's her name? Sarah Vanderbilt? Okay. Sarah Fuller. Vanderbilt's okay. What is this about? Okay, yeah. She became the first woman to officially take the field during a football game in a Southeastern Conference and Power 5 conference game. Power 5 is made up of the biggest athletic conferences, including SEC, Atlantic Coast Conference, Big 10 Conference, Big 12 Conference, and Pac-12 Conference. I think it's made incredible, blah, blah. Sarah Fuller, okay, yeah. So. Her opportunity came because many of Vanderbilt's specialists are in quarantine due to COVID-19. Go away, CNN. I don't care. So, the school needed somebody who could kick.
I also did not aspire to play on the Vanderbilt football team, nor do I have the physical capacity to do so. Let's just show film of this kick. The greatest kick, apparently, of all time, like in all of history. Here she was kicking off the
very hyperbolic. Nobody said it's the greatest kick in all of history.
Second half for Vanderbilt University, and this was the great historic moment for which she won the Special Teams Player of the Week award.
Kick down.
That's a decent kick. I mean, it's not great. It's not phenomenal. But it's a good kick.
At the 35-yard
That did not sail. That was not.
Happy Thanksgiving.
So it's a squib kick.
What a day.
Right, it's a squib kick.
What a day in college football.
What a day. She kicked the ball.
Yeah, she's the first woman to do so, Ben.
No one is anywhere within 1,000 yards of her. She kicked it maybe 25 yards and then it bounced like another 5. And what a day. Huge step for women. No, see, I think big steps for women are like, I'm just going to say this. My wife does more for women and for women's empowerment than Sarah Fuller kicking a ball on a men's football team with no chance of actually playing. I mean, I'm sorry, but like kicking a ball 20 yards and having no chance of being tackled is not exactly like what we mean when we think of people playing football so much. I mean, like that's nice. She's a soccer player. She's a great. Why is it not enough for her to just be a great soccer player? I don't understand. And my wife, who's a doctor and has 3 children. That seems like more of a groundbreaking thing for women to do is to be a doctor, right? Because women can be just as great as men at being a doctor. But to treat this like this was like an amazing performance is kind of incredible. Okay, the other person who won the Special Teams Player of the Week was Kadarius Toney, and I want to look up what he actually did last week. Okay, so he actually scored on a punt return. Okay, so that seems like more important than not kicking a football all that well in a game that you lose 41-0.
So that's the thing. Let's see. Becomes first woman to play in a Power 5 college football game. She's the first woman to take the field at a Power 5 football game. College football game. Your wife is one of many female doctors.
So he earned Special Teams Player of the Week, Co-Special Teams Player of the Week for the SEC. He returned a punt 50 yards, which ended up being the touchdown that gave the Gators a 14-10 edge at halftime. He also scored a passing, rushing, receiving, and punt return touchdown in a career. That was the first punt return touchdown since an 85-yarder in 2018 for the Florida Gators. On the year, he has 45 receptions for 541 yards and 7 touchdowns. That's slightly more impressive, I think, than kicking a ball like 20 yards and having no chance of being tackled.
That's not the point, Benjamin. It's not about, or Benjamin, is that how you would prefer to be recognized? Benny boy. The point isn't the athletic capability on the football field. The point is the fact that she's the first one to do it in a Power 5 college football game. And as for no chance of being tackled, I mean, if somebody had caught that and run it back, there's a chance she'd have gotten run over. It's the historic moment that they're celebrating, Ben, not the performance therein.
But again, people are like, well, but yes, but it's groundbreaking for a woman. Okay, if you have to add for a woman, it's not groundbreaking. Seriously, because you're demonstrating that the woman is not playing on the same level as the men. If you have to have...
Historically, they're not! That's the point!
That was a great performance for a woman. It would have to be a great performance for a man in a man's sport for it to be truly groundbreaking. Okay, but that's not where the absurdity stops.
No, that's not what that means. Groundbreaking means it's never been done before, and since this is the first time, it's actually groundbreaking, you dumb fuck.
So apparently, Sarah Fuller, I'm not kidding you, gave a halftime speech to the team, as according to Joe Kinsey at Outkick. ESPN reporter Courtney Cronin jumped on a Zoom call to chat with Fuller about her time on the Vandy football team. And that's when we learned that Fuller was given the floor to address her fellow football players. If I'm going to be honest, I was a little pissed off at how quiet everybody was on the sideline, Fuller told Cronin. We made a first down, and I was the only one cheering. I was like, what the heck? What's going on? And I tried to get them pumped up, and I was like, you guys need to start cheering your team on. My main thing was during the SEC tournament, my entire team was cheering the entire time. It didn't matter if we were in the locker room or if they were on the sidelines. I think that's what won it for us. Everyone was cheering nonstop. I just went in there and I said exactly what I was thinking. I was like, we need to be cheering each other on. This is how you win games. This is how you get better, by calling each other out for stuff. And I'm going to call you guys out. We need to be supporting one another. If we get a first down, if an interception happens, it's our fault. We need to be lifting each other up. That's what a team is about. I think this team has struggled. And that's been part of it. Okay, she's been part of the team for 32 seconds and she kicked a squib kick. Okay, first of all, it is not a perfectly executed squib kick. Okay, you don't have to be a football expert to understand when a squib kick is used. A squib kick is used at the end, usually of the first half, when you are just trying to run out the clock and you don't want to see somebody run it back. You never use a squib kick when you are down 1 million points at the beginning of the second half and give field position to the other team 35-yard line. Anyway. Okay, but she's been on the team for like half a second, and she's lecturing all the male players about what a winner she is in a completely different sport with...
She's not lecturing them on what a winner she is. She's lecturing them on not building each other up, bringing positivity to each other when they do well, and recognizing when they fail. Oh my god. He's deliberately misrepresenting this. I know he is. He cannot be that fucking dumb. He can't.
With women. That is not effective. I mean, can you imagine the temerity of that? Seriously, like just the absolute gall of that to walk into the men's football team. These guys, by the way, are getting crushed out there, right? Not just like they're losing; they're getting physically mauled out there because that's what football is. These guys are going out there and getting stomped on. You got linebackers who are getting bruised up, and you get this woman walking in the front door. She squib kicks at 20 yards. She's like, "I think that you guys are losers." And you know what? I'm going to lecture you about how to be winners. And the way that
not what she did.
we can be winners is by cheering each other on, guys. We're going to cheer like there's no tomorrow. We're going to cheer. And that's going to bring the entire team together. Female empowerment. She says, I hope I gained their respect. It wasn't ill-intentioned at all. I just want this team to succeed and do well. So, okay, so, again, a few notes. One, Jason Whitlock has noted that she was practicing all week long. She didn't try a field goal because the team didn't score the entire game. But her longest field goal, I believe she says, is 38 yards, which is great for any person who is not a male football player in an SEC team, right? If you're in the Power 5, you got to be able to kick more than a 38-yard field goal. In any case, the Vanderbilt coach came out and said that the kick went exactly where it was supposed to. And also, I didn't want to overcoach her. I don't think there was a chance of that. I don't think it was like if you overcoached her, she was going to squib kick at 15 yards.
I'm sorry, Ben.
The Vanderbilt coach came out.
What is that?
But her longest field goal, I believe she says, is 38 yards.
38 yards?
Which is great for any person who is not a male football player in an SEC team, right? If you're in the Power 5, you got to be able to kick more than 38-yard field goal. Any
69 yards is the longest. The average is 26. 38 is a very respectable field goal kick.
In any case, the Vanderbilt coach came out and said that the kick went exactly where it was supposed to. And also, I didn't want to overcoach her. I don't think there was a chance of that. I don't think it was like if you overcoached her, she was going to squib kick at 15 yards. Here's the coach, who, by the way, now has no job. He was fired because his team stinks.
We try to go with the most natural, the most natural kicks, like in her arsenal. Try not to, overcoach her, or let her, do and understand, what felt comfortable to her, and that's really what we went with. I thought she punched it exactly where she needed to punch it. Balls down 35-yard line. Let's go.
So that was normally you don't actually build like an entire play calling situation around a kicker who only kicks the ball about 25 yards. Like that's normally not what you do. So can we stop pretending that this is like some great historic breakthrough for women? Women are not going to be populating the Power 5 anytime soon.
I'm sorry, Benjamin. He's terrible at his job. I mean, he had a bad year. His players aren't doing well. Vanderbilt fired football coach Derek Mason on Sunday, one day after a 41-0 loss at Missouri, dropped the Commodores' record to 0-8. It's a bad season. He had a 27-55 record in his 6th season at Vanderbilt, so not phenomenal, but what do you do? He is the 6th winningest coach in program history and only the 2nd to lead the Commodores to 2 bowl games. So, I wouldn't say that's too bad. I don't even fucking follow sports.
Wait, when a woman is playing quarterback for a Power 5 team, or linebacker, or wide receiver, or cornerback, or anything that is not a kicker who, if they were a dude, would not be on the team, obviously. Also, I just got to point this out again. The differences between men and women are very real, and this actually underscores that there are differences between men and women, because if there were no differences, then she would not be on the team. Obviously, nor would she win SEC Co-Player of the Week with a guy who ran back a 50-yard punt return for University of Florida. Anyway,
yeah, it's the history-breaking thing. It's not her performance on the thing, which apparently, the more I look into it, is actually fairly fucking decent for anyone, regardless of gender or birth sex or whatever the fuck you want to try and use to shit talk them.
The halftime speech really gets me. It really does, because again, it again betrays the difference between men and women, differences that are very real. Okay, one of those differences is how men talk in the locker room versus how women talk in the locker room. So women, when it comes to halftime speeches, apparently, according to the book Top Dog, which is an excellent book by Poe Bronson and Ashley Merriman about the science of competition, talks about how men and women are motivated by different things, right? Because men and women are not exactly the same. I know this is very controversial stuff because, again, we're supposed to simultaneously believe that men and women are exactly the same, but also they are not exactly the same, since historic when a woman plays in a man's game. So, in any case.
No, you're supposed to recognize the differences between them. But you're not supposed to misgender someone. Like, you're doing fucking anti-trans dog whistles in here. There are differences. People acknowledge those, Ben. Me, on average, someone who, my job is literally lifting stuff. I deliver meat to restaurants, so I'm lifting, like, light boxes or 10, 20 pounds, and heavy boxes are 90 pounds. That's what I deal with all day. I am probably physically stronger than the average woman without truly putting in any actual exercise. I barely lift my weights. But there are women who can kick my ass. What's her name? Daisy Ridley or whatever? She could kick my ass. Oh, well, apparently we're done with that.
Which brings us to the heroism of Sarah Fuller. Now, Sarah Fuller seems like it betrays the difference between men and women differently, according to the book Top Dog, which is an excellent book by men. We're supposed to simultaneously believe that men and women are exactly the same, but also they are not exactly the same, so it's historic when a woman plays in a man's game. So, in any case, they are not motivated by the same thing. So she's on the sideline like, why aren't you guys cheering for each other? I want more solidarity. I want more team spirit. None of that motivates dudes. None of that motivates dudes.
Yeah, it kind of does. Somebody's like, hey, hey, we did well. That uplifts the spirit a bit. You're like, we're doing okay. We can pick it up though. I'm not gonna lie. The shit that you're promoting here can lead heavily into toxic masculinity. It really fucking can. Oh, and Top Dog. The Science of Winning and Losing. Who the fuck are these people? American journalist and author. Okay. Wait, where is my... Where's my chat? Where are you, chat? Advanced? No. The thing about rewards. Nope. Streaming. YouTube. Where's chat, though? Chat, where are you guys? So are you a fucking... What are you? Who are you? Are you actually a... Yale, okay. Okay, so what do you do? Bollocks. Yep. Okay. So you're a right-wing shill. Okay. Maybe? I don't know. You have a Yale thing about her, but who are you? What do you do? Georgetown University, NPR. Okay. Fine. Oh, Jesus, I need to be. Mastery of the science. Yeah, sure, whatever. Not shit that you can learn about you, but you are not a scientist. You're not a... I don't know if either one of them are a psychologist or anything. I've got to pee. That is happening. Okay. I'll be back. I promise you. I'll be back yet again. Because I want to smoke. I've been doing this an hour, and it felt good to stand for a second. So give me like 5 minutes, and I will be back. But don't worry, I won't leave you with nothing. Here we go. Alright. We're done with this idiot. I don't need to... Yeah, what we're doing? Smoking. Covering some people being stupid. Let's see... Ah, damn it. Crowder, you and your fucking... No, shut up. Nobody cares. Yes, you voted twice, so you're gonna go to jail. Calling all patriots to disobey. Well, no, they've never been.
As well, glad to be with you. That's not very nice. Well, don't admit to a felony on air, especially a felony.
Prove it.
Against a lawyer who can now prove that your claim was fraudulent.
Wait, is murder a felony now?
I'm not entirely sure. It's up there with not having an N95.
Jaywalking.
We have a lot that we're going to be talking about today. So many of you may not have had the time yesterday to watch the Arizona hearing and the voter fraud. And I know sometimes people say, well, it's a broken record. Well, actually, it's not, because we're going state by state. In Arizona, there are some new revelations that we heard about yesterday that have been confirmed. It is confirmed. And I think it's important for us to go over that, along with the hypocrisy coming from the left on the idea of election hacking. There was a soccer player, Sarah Fuller. She became the first woman... Now, picture that. Here's the thing. When people get really mad at me when I make... Picture that, only it's ISIS. It's combat. And same thing in Arizona. So let's start with this. The lead of 11,000 votes. Before we get to fraud, this is important. 2,000 votes. They use vacant lots in false addresses. Now, at first you say false addresses. I should have led with that. False addresses and vacant lots.
What are they, ground owls?
Vacant lots. Ewan McGregor's business in Fargo season 3 was the address posted.
Hey, guess what, buddy? Homeless people exist. They don't have homes. They still have a legal right to vote. So what? That doesn't mean voter fraud.
And then 6,000 voters were on the rolls with no listed sex, and they just had a generic date of birth, but don't take my word for it. This was in the hearing yesterday.
You have here voter database discrepancies. 6,000 voters, at least, entered into database with no sex and default date of birth, and they're non-existent in LexisNexis.
Correct, and I believe there will be a witness to discuss that later this morning.
So unless those can be discovered, those votes would have to be eliminated.
Correct.
They also discovered over 2,000 votes that used a false address, an address of a vacant lot.
Correct.
Now,
were they all the same?
There's a rule.
Everybody lives in this vacant lot.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was the Vacant Lot Club. Oh, boy, is my face red. And leaking. What's with the leaking? It is... It's one of those, like, there's the rule, don't ever ask a question you don't know the answer to as a lawyer. But Rudy Giuliani is taking it to the extreme.
He is.
And so, if we do not confirm those votes, they could, in fact, not be confirmed, correct? Yes. Good boy.
And that would be a bad thing if they did this thing, if they did the vacant lot thing.
So that's 8,000 votes.
Gone.
Gone. Now, I'm not saying that all those 8,000 votes were voting for Joe Biden, but let's be honest, I don't think there are a lot of vacant lot Trump voters.
It's a niche.
I've looked...
Oh, yeah? Okay, well, that's not what I was looking for. Oh wait, yeah, it's education, poverty, yeah.
Looked at Nate Silver.
Essentially what I'm getting to is that when you're poor, you either have one or two options that you lean. Left, or right. Rich people go right. Like, as a general rule, most rich people are neoliberal, neoconservative, not paleoconservative. Nazis are right, and they're poor. A lot of poor people who believe in the Nazi things because they're poor white people. Also, lack of education tends to lean towards right-leaning people. In white communities. Fox News does a really good job of that as well.
Silver's analytics, his deep dives, and I didn't see vacant lot voters as a key demographic of Trump.
No, I think Biden won at 99.9 to,
the vacant lots. Of the vacant lots.
Yeah, I think the vacant lot was actually a graveyard.
Yes, it was a graveyard.
I think that's what they meant.
That's just the Christmas Carol. Is just Ebenezer Scrooge wipes the snow off the head. Biden voted. So now we move on. 143,000 votes. They were dumped at 8 p.m. in Arizona.
Yeah.
I think this is after it was called, by the way. Fox News.
At least a couple hours after it was called.
Thanks, Brett. And there were 143,000 votes dumped at 8 p.m. that actually surpassed the voting machine processing capability.
Again.
So again, what that means is happened. We
Similar
talked about it with
situation.
Michigan. We talked about it, I think, in Georgia. It's happened in a few states where they have a pretty good estimate of how many votes can be processed in this machine. And it was listen, and it's an estimate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, generally, before someone goes to the Olympics, let's say, they say, okay, we have a good estimate because of the pre-trials, the best time of Usain Bolt. Like, but he was 90 seconds behind. We didn't see that coming.
Yeah, exactly. You don't typically outperform by like 400.
There was another state that I was looking into because somebody had linked a whole bunch of dates of birth, I think it was Michigan, that were weird. And it straight up says on the voter summary thing. Oh wait, yeah, let's just go for voter summary. And count results. Okay. Here, let's just go with like Maricopa. See, okay, for things like this, they don't tell you names. Where's the voter list? Voter files. That is not the voter list information. Yeah, nice picture there. Why did I do that? Now I can't undo it. $32,000. Yep, because they don't have it. Okay. Voter registration status. Damn it. I found this for another state. Oh well.
Right.
But what I did
Why don't we
was,
just get a machine?
there were people who had dates of birth that were like 1945, 1820, stuff like that. And that's for witness protection purposes, so that you don't find them. Oh, I don't know if you could hear that, but that was my neck.
Some ballots through and
See what happens,
It almost seems like that would be too rudimentary.
Okay, wait, what? He said
Best time. Votes can be processed in this machine, and it was listen, and it's an estimate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, generally, before someone goes to the Olympics, I didn't vote. Voters. Could, in fact, not be confirmed, correct? Yes. Good boy.
And that would be a bad thing
That would
if
be a
they
bad
did this
thing.
thing, if they did the vacant lot thing.
So that's 8,000 votes.
Gone.
Gone. Now, I'm not saying that all of those 8,000 votes were voting for Joe Biden, but let's be honest, I don't think there are a lot of vacant lot Trump voters.
It's a niche.
I've looked at Nate Silver's analytics, his deep dives, and I didn't see vacant lot voters as a key demographic of Trump.
No, I think Biden won at 99.9 to,
Yeah, of the vacant lots. Of the vacant lots.
Yeah, I think the vacant lot was actually a graveyard.
Yes, it was a graveyard.
I think that's what they meant.
That's just the Christmas Carol. It's just, I think you just Scrooge wipes the snow off the head. Biden voters! So now we move on. 143,000 votes. They were dumped at 8 p.m. in Arizona.
Yeah.
I think this is after it was called, by the way. Fox News.
At least a couple hours after it was called.
Thanks, Brett. And there were 143,000 votes dumped at 8 p.m. that actually surpassed the voting machine processing capability.
Again.
So again, what that means is happened. We
Similar
talked about it with
situation.
Michigan. We talked about it, I think, in Georgia. It's happened in a few states where they have a pretty good estimate of how many votes can be processed in this machine. And it was, listen, and it's an estimate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, generally, before someone goes to the Olympics, let's say, they say, okay, we have a good estimate because of the pre-trials, the best time of Usain Bolt. Like, oh, but he was 90 seconds behind. We didn't see that coming.
Yeah, exactly. You don't typically outperform by like 400%.
Right.
So
why don't we just get a machine and run some ballots through and see
what happens?
It almost seems like that would be too rudimentary. This is one of those things. Where's Bill Nye? Where are we doing a science experiment? Can we buy a voting machine?
You can.
For crying out. Can we buy a vote and just see like, oh, yeah, that's right, it's bullshit. There's no way to process 146,000 votes in 0 seconds.
That's called mistabulation on the other person's part. That when they do the thing, there's like a glitch that can happen. The hand recount's done. There is no election fraud. What do you know?
Only if you try hard.
And here's something too. I don't know how they prove this, but again, these are claims made under oath.
Yeah.
And they do it. So this is sworn testimony, and then they also have statistical evidence as well as some actual evidence that they have from screen grabs and videos. This is what they're claiming.
Yeah.
But not all of this information is publicly available. Ooh, Tucker Carlson said, ooh, I want it, please. No, hold on. We have to wait till it's submitted in court. You suck. You won't be on my show because you suck. So
I want it.
Yeah, let's kneecap everyone who's doing God's work on our side because we don't get a scoop.
Yeah.
Let's make it a tuck exclusive.
Yeah, tuck exclusive. You got tucked! All right.
Give me a exclusive.
I think that's the worst word I've ever heard.
That's terrible.
Excuse me? Tuck exclusive.
Oh, gosh.
And they do that weird Who Wants to Be a Millionaire camera shot that they don't need, that costs them a crane that's $500,000, and I wonder why they're dying. You're dead. You should be voting for Biden. You're dead. So, an estimated, we'll show you the clip, 35,000 votes. This is something that they claim was 35,000 votes were automatically embedded for every Democrat candidate running. Here's their claim.
So
Here's the. Okay, sure.
this is 143,100 votes that were injected. That was in excess of what the machines could have processed. In Pima County, Arizona, and the Democratic Party added fraud votes in the initial.
Oh, so a dude made a graph with no sources and has a Word document with no sources.
Count to the vote by mail totals released at 8 p.m. on November 3rd. We weren't aware of this until
This is the Sidney Powell bullshit. What are you doing?
email until after the fact. So there were approximately 35,000 fraud votes added to each Democratic candidate's vote totals.
Nothing to see here.
No.
Okay, where's that source? Who is that from? Where's the actual evidence besides a random dude's graph and a random Word document? A review of key states with voter ID laws found no voter impersonation fraud. What do you know? Hey guys, I found a document that says that Karl Marx and Charles Darwin secretly managed to intertwine their very souls with the concepts of socialism, communism, and, you know, evolution. And they managed to live through the ages by passing out knowledge, and they predicted and have guided society to the point where starting in 2019 and ending in 2021 there would be a plague that wipes out conservatives because they're too dumb, and they guided this entire plan to wipe out portions of the population through social Darwinism. Darwin socialism. That's what it's called. Darwin socialism. It's proof right here. I have a document.
No,
75,000.
And you know what? We're going to keep going through this, and I know on YouTube all I was going to say is the election's been called.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Right, yeah.
What else you got, Wojcicki? Come on, give us something to go on here. We're making some concrete claims. We're staking a reputation on a lot of people are. You just say nothing.
Yeah, and by the way, the guy who claimed the 35,000 actually turned over this statement and sent it to the Department of Justice and let them look into it. And he said there was a meeting that he was at. They talked about this. He said that they were able to do this. They've done it in years past. In the 2014 judicial race, where they embed the votes, they spread them out. It's like this fully detailed thing. Now, it has to be proven.
It has to be proven,
right? It's a claim right now, but it's like
it's happened in the past.
Come on,
which they say it has
investigate
not.
at least.
Well, listen, if you say there's no precedent, as well as no and it's never happened, why not? No, there's precedent to have happened before, and then there's also precedent that would both apply here. You're not Bill. You claim that you killed him. You put him in a shallow grave and filled out his ballot for Biden.
No. He's lying in an empty lot somewhere waiting to vote.
Is he? You didn't even dig a shallow grave?
Why would I do that?
Serial killer.
Always a shallow.
Always a shallow grave.
It's because it's lazy. You're lazy.
By the way, if someone takes me out, whether it's ISIS or whether it's Antifa, do what you want, but just I ask for at least a mid-level depth grade.
Right.
Put a little work in.
And here's what I'll do for you. I will vote Democrat for you for the rest of your dead non-life.
Well,
you'll vote in every election in the
That's
future.
all I ever wanted. Nothing would make me happier than to just bust my wife's chops as a Democrat voter, even beyond the grave.
Clanking chains.
Continually irritated.
Yes. Stephen Crowder votes again.
And then so this is something, again, what's important is when they do these hearings, the reason that they're doing these hearings, okay, is to stay out in front of the public eye because the media wants you to just believe there's a coronation and Biden has won. Good.
Well, here's the deal. Oh, go away. Barr says no widespread election fraud. A Democrat will challenge election results with House? What? Who the fuck are you? Wow. This is crazy, guys. She's gonna stake everything on a fucking forced recount. Yeah. The GAO, General Accounting Office, conducted a recount and found McCloskey was the winner by 4 votes. Yeah. So.
Good thing that AP doesn't actually elect presidents.
Oh, yeah.
We actually have a process of electors that goes through a state legislature, then we have an electoral college, and people can issue objections all the way up to January 6th. So good thing it's not AP or the Fox News desk with the crotch cam.
It's a good crotch cam.
Wow.
It is the crotch cam.
I don't want to see
I worked there and it was called the crotch cam. It's a cam that shows the crotch. It's self-explanatory. It's the crotch camera.
Does its job.
I hope I've clarified for you. So,
Tier 2 humor at best. Yeah, okay. Here's the deal though. The Associated Press may not call this race, but let's look at margins. Election results. Alabama. Trump won indisputably in Alabama. Alaska. Trump won indisputably in Alaska. Arizona. This looks disputable. 0.3%. Over 10,000 votes? No. Now I know they're going to try and use that 35,000 vote injection, which, debunking 35,000 Democrat votes injected. Okay. Fake hospital. No, it isn't unusual that Kamala Harris is still in the Senate because she's a senator until the inauguration. YouTube suspends. Oh, good. Good. Y'all are just... That's so bad. That's bad. Y'all are not. So, come on. This is a very bad man. Dan Bongino. Yep. Fuck this dude. Fuck this dude. Fuck these two. David J. Harris Jr. Who the fuck is David J. Harris Jr.? I don't fucking know. Fuck that guy. Definitely fuck this guy. I don't care what went viral this week. Oh, I can't. Sure. I hate you. You're the worst. Okay. Oh. Dominion machines had 35,000 votes preloaded. Wall Street Journal. 2 days ago. We have no ties to dictator Hugo Chavez. Dominion in Canada. Dominion is an American company now headquartered in Denver. Dominion is not and has never been a front for communists. It has no ties to Hugo Chavez, the late dictator of Venezuela. That's a reach. Hugo Chavez was not a dictator. Fuck you guys. It has never been involved in Venezuelan elections. None of Dominion's systems use the Smartmatic software that has come under attack, as any state certification lab could verify. There is no secret vote flipping algorithm. Third-party test labs chosen by Bipartisan Election Assistance Commission and accredited by a program of the National Institute of Standards and Technology, the NIST, perform complete source code reviews on every federally certified tabulation system. States replicate this process for their own certifications. Post-election canvassing and auditing also exist to provide additional assurance of the vote total's accuracy. Boom.
So here's another claim that they make. 1.9 million mail-in votes. And this matters because I talked about this yesterday. In Michigan, where I was registered to vote both in Michigan and in Texas. I don't think we've had calls back from the clerks, by the way.
No.
I called the clerk. I called the clerks to check on Grandma Ruthie's vote. It turns out that maybe in Michigan, they store your absentee voting tracking status for a little bit of time, and then it just disappears.
Oh.
That's what I've heard thus far. But I want to say, okay, but can someone actually confirm that I don't think my wife voted?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think her vote was counted. But here's the thing. They also just sent out ballot requests, like we said, to everyone unsolicited in Michigan, to my old house, and they didn't verify signatures. They didn't verify signatures the proper way, for example, in Georgia. So it matters if you aren't.
Oh, yes, they did. What do you mean the proper way? Georgia's been debunking this shit for a minute.
Verified signatures because mail-in ballots, when they had to be requested in years prior, they were rejected at a rate of 30 times what we've seen this election, largely because there were either no signatures or they didn't match. So in this case now we have 1.9 million mail-in votes that were not validated at all by verifying signatures. Here they are.
The reporting numbers from Pima and Maricopa County merged election day votes with write-in votes with absentee ballots, so there's no way to, in the publicly available data, to parse those votes. Maricopa County had 1.9 million mail-in ballot requests, so and those there was a Maricopa County official on videotape that did say that they did not validate the signatures on the write-in ballots this year.
Okay, not to shortchange information, but get a better ballroom. Let's go to CNN really quickly.
Or two cameras.
Yeah, right, yeah. We're going to be talking about this a little later on. Right now they're talking about Florida governor doubles down on no statewide mask mandate. He doubles down on not infringing on rights. Let's see this.
He's not talked to local infectious disease experts. He's gone to the folks that are most convenient and follow the ideology he wants to follow. And the result is that he is
that man looks straight forward, his nose faces left.
He opened up our economy entirely in a single day, and then at the same time said that local governments can't.
I'd like to get a picture of you, sir. Get my profile. Well, no, we want a straight head shot. Yes to both. Okay. This matters because we'll be talking about it in a little bit. Not to shortchange information, but get a better ballroom. Let's go to CNN really quickly.
Or two cameras.
Yeah, right, yeah. We're going to be talking about this a little later on. Right now they're talking about Florida governor doubles down on no statewide mask mandate. He doubles down on not infringing on rights. Let's see this.
He's not talked to local infectious disease experts. He's gone to the folks that are most convenient and follow the ideology he wants to follow. And the result is that he is
that man looks straight forward, his nose faces left.
He opened up our economy entirely in a single day, and then at the same time said that local governments can't.
I'd like to get a picture of you, sir. Get my profile. Well, no, we want a straight head shot. Yes to both. Okay. This matters because we'll be talking about it in a little bit. Florida death rates are going down. Illinois skyrocketing.
I feel like there was something very wrong with that statement. It hit me and it hit a wrong chord, you know.
Now, I know people talk about cases because cases obviously involve testing, and the more you test and the more efficient tests are, the more cases you're going to have. Florida, their deaths have been consistently going down since summer. Illinois, going up. So this is something they don't want to talk about. They're not trusting the science. Well, listen, if he's a science denier praying to chicken bones like Manny Pacquiao, it seems to be working better than Chicago.
Right.
Well, and these stories are related because the numbers of COVID do matter because that was the whole reason that we had mail-in voting. Right. And so the numbers of mail-in voting matter and the numbers of COVID matter, but they don't want us to dig into these numbers at all. They want to just say, it's been decided, the death rate is climbing.
Well, the reason they focus on Florida is because they used to think it was a swing state. It's no longer a swing state. Like, well, let's try and trash Republican states. Illinois, you know what, let's give them a pass. Then I die. It's just... You're not trying to keep Urkel out, you're trying to keep out aerosol particles.
And by the way, can somebody open...
Let's see... Okay, yeah, this can go away. This is an article talking about how it's the safest to vote in Florida. The trends in Florida. Oh, they've been going down. March? Boop, 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 boop. April. Oh, it went down. Oh, it spiked again? Oh, what's that? Oh, and then it went down, 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 down. And before you made this video, 818. Whereas... here it was 2,000. The day before you made it, it was at a low point. Yeah, it has spikes. Literally the day you made this video, right? This was yesterday? Streamed yesterday. COVID. Oh, what's that? Boom. 2,000 people died that day. Illinois is the other one he mentioned. Oh, what's that? They have the exact same deaths on the first.
Like a free Google Drive account so that Michigan can store 2 gigs worth of data past a month, please.
Accounts are free.
No, that's what I said. A free Google Drive account, so that they can store this data. You're telling me that they couldn't keep your voting information more than 30 days in a national election?
I just don't. It's not. No, listen. And because I have to be fair, you're speaking off base. It's not that they can't store it. It's that they can't both store and acid wash it.
At the same time, that is difficult. Yes.
Throwback.
Pick a lane. So this is another thing where they claim, this is a claim that you've seen repeated, by the way, which...
Okay, so I'm a dumbass. This didn't change this chart. That just... Okay. So, let's see. Very bad. Yeah, that's the total. So, let's... Illinois. Yeah, they had a big spike in one county. Can I just get the map to update? Oh! Illinois dropped as well. Oh, and what do you know? They had a spike. Let's see. Florida? Oh, what do you know? They had it low, and then they started just not listening and having parties, and parties, and parties, and... Oh, Oh, and yeah, it's true. Theirs did drop quite a bit, but look at that right there. That's not good. Oh, that's not good. My state. Real bad. Like, real good here, real good through here. Oh, and then people just stop. Oh, what do you know? The biggest spikes are voting day. 21 people died. That's the 3rd, so the 10th. Wait, is the 10th like lowest day? One of? Nobody died on the 8th, hell yeah. 7 people died on the 10th. It's 1 week. 6 people died. What's this? 26 people died the day after. 21, 15, 21. The state's Republican as shit. Oh, now let's look at a good old Democrat city, the state that everybody wants to complain at. Keep in mind, they have a bunch of people. They had a bad spike in here, but theirs has been fairly consistent at about at around the 100-ish line, a little over 100 to 150, which isn't good, but one of the biggest fucking states. Yeah, let's go with New Mexico. Oh, spikes after voting? What do you know? Delaware. Oh, look at that. They had 69. I'm sorry, that's dead people. I shouldn't. 69 people died in June. Less than, that's what, 49 people there, and then what the fuck's the population of Delaware? Listed Rhode Island. Okay.
Snopes and AP, I believe, fact-checked all as true and no Pinocchio. Surprising.
Oh, wow.
And that's the thing, too, is just these broad claims. Like, they will make fact checks of Donald Trump. We did this with Lee Dorn back in the day, where he went through 50 Washington Post fact checks. Where it was like, he said, I was there in the afternoon. They go, fact, he was actually there at 6:30 p.m., which is early evening. But no fact checks for broad claims like this is the safest election ever on record. How many times have you heard that, right? Yeah. That's probably the fact check below this video.
No, there isn't a fact check below this video, but Yeah. Right, of technological security. Oh, I don't need fucking BLS. Okay, let's see what this is. Okay, so that's like a company thing.
Which, by the way, if you're watching this video, hit like right now because that's what gets us through the fact check.
It's right above the fact check.
So this is the claim, the safest election in modern history, and they debunked that pretty quickly by showing that the machines were, in fact, they're not supposed to be, connected to the internet, which of course makes them very vulnerable, and they show you exactly how, because, again, this matters. The media will say there are no receipts. Let's present receipts!
Director of CISA at DHS, and he basically said that this election was the most secure in history. And partially that was because the states do an excellent job.
January 10th of 2020. It's December 2nd. All of his claims are from... Wait. Hold on.
Validating voter rolls, and that this equipment is not connected to the internet. The Dominion Suite User's Manual is about 1.5 inches thick. In the user's manual, it tells operators to connect the Ethernet cords to the router, and it is the systems are connected to the internet.
I went to physically trace all the cables from all the tabulators and adjudicators to the local data center at the top. We have election officials that did confirm that that was connected to the internet, but they said none of the tabulators or anything else were connected to the internet. I can show physical connection between those tabulator machines, the Ethernet cables, two routers or managed switches up to the telephone 12 feet away. But they're so.
Then show the actual thing. You have a thing that says this.
Router type of device. And so all these tabulators were connected to one another, all the adjudicators were connected to one another, the local data center that they acknowledged was connected to the internet were connected to these tabulators.
Well, it wasn't going anywhere nefarious.
We did observe packet traffic that were going from the U.S. Now, we don't know if it was specifically Dominion traffic going, but to a server in Frankfurt.
Think about this. This mirrors exactly. I want to go to your.
Okay, so you're only showing one side of clams here. Let's see. September 14th of 2019. At times connected to internet for updates and shit, but not during voting times, apparently. I kind of read that one when it did. North Carolina. GovTech.com, but these are the actual government websites. Paper ballots, certified voting systems, no internet, logic and accuracy. Audits. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. When was this updated? Oh well, I don't care. No voting system ever connected to the internet at any point, either when votes are being cast or when they are being counted. Only software certified by Texas. Yeah. So that's that. That's North Carolina. Yeah, this is... There is no single voting system or single point of access. Voting machines are not connected to the internet, so they can't be hacked from the internet. Every single voting machine in Missouri is required to produce a paper trail. Look at this. Michigan? Sure. Sure. So everything he's talking about was from the beginning of this year. Voting machines cannot be connected to the internet during ballot tabulation. Only after counting is finished and a paper record has been generated will some jurisdictions connect the machines to the internet to send unofficial results to the county clerk. Simultaneously, these jurisdictions will bring a hard copy of the paper tally to the count clerk to ensure all vote counts remain accurate. Boom. So far, every state we've looked at. Here, let's look at the one that they're really mad about. Oh, it's paper trail. Voting machines prohibited from being connected to the internet. All election systems are air-gapped, which means they are never connected to the internet or to other networks. Counties may only use election equipment that has been certified by the U.S. Election Assistance Secretary of State. Voting equipment. Oh, what is that? The date of meetings? Oh, look at that. All of this stuff. Notice an agenda. Let's see what's up here. 1 of 1. Call to order. Welcome to roll. Approval. Boom. Adjournment. Yeah. See? Okay. They looked over everything. Election voting equipment list. State certified 2016 to present. Boom. Okay, so. Boom. Oh, what do you know? It's all the counties who are. Maricopa went with democracy. Sweet, and everyone else won't. Except for Yavapai went with Open Elect 22.1. But everyone else went with election one. And then this one, Dominion. Okay, for these. Electionware. 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 Oh, look at this. It just open like 1.2. Oh, look at that. Oh, the systems that they allow. Oh, what? It's all clean. Georgia. That's the other one they're all mad about. Oh, what is that? Oh, okay, that's some random bullshit. Governing.com. Georgia's vulnerable to attacks. Okay, that's another random fucking website. Okay, so that's 2019. So let's see what's up here. Voter FAQ. Meet Democracy Suite. Yeah, see, they're using Democracy Suite. Dominion Voting Democracy Suite. That's what other states have used. Hell, I'm pretty sure my state uses Democracy Suite. Son of a... Fuck. Okay, towel. Thank you. Knocked over my drink. Fucking 2018. City trying the 2016 mini voting machines themselves are being put to the internet. Oh my god. Okay. GovTech, Sepulpa Times, SysAgov. So does Oklahoma not? They don't make theirs fucking public. Oh. What's that, Oklahoma? Fucking hate this state. Boom. Okay.
Exactly. There's no evidence that there's ever been election fraud.
Yeah.
Then it goes, well, okay, there is some evidence of election fraud, but it's very, very small. Then it's, okay, well, there has been some kind of widespread election fraud, but not enough to actually change the election. We've seen that same thing right here.
Yeah.
This is the safest, most secure.
It's the safest, most secure election we've had. There's always some mishap where somebody's signature doesn't match up, so they call it election fraud and toss it, where it doesn't get counted. Because when things don't match up, they don't get fucking counted. Shit.
Election in modern American history because the machines were not connected to the internet. Well, hold on. They were, well, okay, fine, but the tabulators weren't connected to the internet. They were hardwired. Okay, maybe they were hardwired to the internet, but it's not like this was accessible.
But they weren't. You're only using the plaintiff's evidence. You're not putting any of the defense. All of the claims have been tossed out of court. All of them. For unsubstantiated evidence. Because the state comes through and goes, here's what we fucking did to certify our shit. He's a brainlet. He has no brain. It's smooth. Jesus.
To Frankfurt, Germany and foreign actors. Son of a bitch, just stop.
Somebody. Can I get better notes?
Yeah, there is no amount of evidence that will convince the media, and that's why this battle shouldn't be fought in the media, because it's not going to win it there. The battle is being fought in the courts, and that's the right way to do it.
It's being lost in the courts. Oh, what's this? Trump court challenges. Would help if I spelled everything right. Feels courage. I heard something like he's a 49-1, or 149, I should say. He's won one legal case that was to get poll watchers moved closer, and he's lost everything else.
Legislatures. The state legislatures, and that's why they're doing
exclusive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they're shitting on Tucker Carlson because he asked for proof from Sidney Powell.
Really like Tuck Exclusive.
I hate it. I hate it.
I want my Tuck Exclusive. Sidney Powell goes, no. I should have never ditched the bow tie.
Can't have it, right? Oh, so basically, CNN is still running with Sunday's 60 Minutes interview with the former assistant chief or whatever his name, Kolb or whatever, and saying, no, none of this actually happened. They've reported zero of this. Even to debunk it, they haven't reported it.
They don't have to debunk it. That's the issue. The media has no accountability whatsoever. That's what scares me.
What do you mean? The media reports on the court cases that Trump loses involving this bullshit. And they go, I think the court debunked your shit as it sits. So, why would they need to debunk it when the courts go, this is unsubstantiated hearsay, and I'm thinking about having you disbarred as a lawyer for even bringing this to me? What more does the media need to add on to it? They just have to sit back and watch you whine as they report it. Because that's what they do, is report stories as they come in. They can get things told to them that are incorrect, and it can be corroborated by multiple people and be incorrect. I.e. the whole 9/11 shit. Weapons of mass destruction. They just went with it.
Think about it right now. Not only the media has no accountability, we know that, and now you have an administration. If Biden actually gets in without the objections on January 6th, anyone who doesn't issue objections who's a member of the Republican Party primary them, he's not going to be held accountable by the media, and the media is being held accountable to no one. And by the way, there's this unholy alliance between legacy media and big tech because they now want a stranglehold on new media because...
That last bit right there with the stranglehold, legacy media and big tech, yeah, that's a thing. That's definitely a thing. YouTube will not promote me. I'm not really a political commentator. I just shit talk a whole bunch of right-wing people. But I do kind of delve into it. I mean, as you can see, I look into things. Trump is losing all of his shit. And they're losing their shit because, you know, Big Daddy Trump, he lost, and so they can't get cucked by him anymore. And they're going to miss the cucking.
Because they're losing. That is what is most terrifying to me, is that we end up like Norway, where you can't say kids can't take puberty blockers without being banned from society, like a Black Mirror episode. Go ahead, Wade.
I was just going to say, CNN doesn't have to cover it because it's not like they can go, you may have heard this crazy rumor on Facebook. You haven't heard it on Facebook because you can't report it on Facebook. You may have heard this crazy rumor on YouTube or on any of the other media sources. No, they just don't, they can ignore it because everybody has been siloed off into the smallest news.
And then you go to a Thanksgiving party, which, by the way, this is also why they didn't want you to have gatherings, because they don't even want you to debate or have these conversations with your family members. Don't have them in the town, the digital town hall.
No, it's COVID.
Also, don't have them in the home and don't have them in the actual town. Just don't have them. Don't have them. You talk to someone and you go, well, hold on a second, I do think that this election has been compromised. And your family member goes, I think it's the safest in modern American history. You go, what about the 1.9 million that weren't checked for verification? Well, I haven't read it. Well, have you watched? Haven't watched it, haven't seen it, haven't read it, haven't heard it. What about the fact that there are over 10,000 votes in states like Nevada or Georgia from people out of state? I haven't read it, I haven't seen it, I haven't...
Oh, yeah? 2020 out of state votes illegally. Statesman Network. PolitiFact ruling pants on fire as supporters of Donald Trump ramp up their from a Trump campaign list, slaps 9,000. Okay. Who are you? Days earlier, there were 3,000 instances. William Barr listed 3,000 unnamed individuals who claimed they voted in Nevada after moving out of state. Over 3,000. Okay. Oh, what do you know? oh, what do you know? They can live out of... Oh, yeah, I kind of forget about that one. Out of state, like, for college? Or for military? You know, things that people on the Republican Party should be happy about.
Heard it, so it doesn't exist. Of course, it doesn't exist because it's not on Facebook, it's not on YouTube. And I will say, I'm actually very grateful that YouTube just falsely fact checks us and they still let this go up.
Sure.
Algorithms be damned. We only get the people who actually tune in, which means, by the way, hit the notification bell.
Yes.
If you are subscribed every Monday through Thursday, sometimes Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, because subscriptions don't mean a whole lot. Go ahead.
Yeah, and unless you think Steven's exaggerating, when Sidney Powell filed her 2 court cases in Georgia, and you do sometimes, but in Georgia and Michigan, Twitter would not let you link to the PDF court filing. It literally would go to drafts and say, this link is blocked. You cannot send it. And I was like, oh, well, nothing to see here. Then it must not be true.
Do you ever wonder, and this is something I know, first let me say I am discouraged, I have not encouraged and I actively discourage any offensive violence, okay? That has nothing to do with defending your home and your wife and your kids if people are hiding and burning. But do you ever just wonder if we're that frog in the boiling pot where you go, oh, hold on a second. They banned a link to a legal case, to a complaint, like to a suit being filed. They banned that as misinformation.
And then,
I mean, at what point do we go, hold on a second,
It's because the case was thrown out for having a bunch of misinformation and unsubstantiated claims. His brain is so fucking tiny and smooth. It's a marble. His brain is a literal marble. That's what it is.
They banned doctors for citing death numbers on COVID on Facebook, right? These doctors from California, which we now know are accurate because it went against Fauci. They banned doctors from saying this is what we're seeing with our patients and citing actual statistics. Do you think we look back and go, oh man, that, and we weren't allowed to...
You mean quack doctors? No, you're such a fucking liar, dude. You are a disgusting human. You are a little disgusting human. Who's that fucking one doctor who talks about demon sperm? I don't remember her name. I don't remember everybody's name on the fucking right-wing grift. There's so many of them. I remember the big ones. I remember the big guys. But little fucking demon sperm doctor lady, I don't remember her. Not her name. I remember what she said. Doesn't matter. There are cases when you combine hydrochloroquine with certain other fucking medications per the doctor's recommendation, you know, when they think that it will help, then you can do that. The thing about hydrochloroquine in general is that you can't just go buy fucking hydrochloroquine and inject it into yourself. You'll die. And that was what people were having an issue with, was people just saying, oh yeah, hydrochloroquine will cure fucking COVID. You can't just do that. You need other shit. I think there's like zinc and like 6 other medications that you have to mix with it to...
We weren't allowed to stop our kids from puberty blockers. Maybe that's when we should have stood up and done something.
Yeah, at some point. I don't wonder. I know.
Yeah,
like,
well,
this is definitely.
Nobody's forcing puberty blockers onto people. It takes a very specific set of like medical evaluations and like a year or 2 of talking to a therapist and shit to figure out if it's what needs to happen for you, so that you don't kill yourself later on in life. Or have a higher, you know, it lessens the likelihood.
Definitely that time.
And at the American founding, it wasn't just over like taxes and stuff. There was an entire cultural divide, and it was just that people got finally tired of the taxes. It was like
that last straw, and they were like, this tea's gotta go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the cultural divide of I wish I could donate. I don't have money at the moment. I wish I could. If I had like people watching and I got YouTube money, it would definitely be going some of it here to Wikipedia because I love using you as a source. The right of an enslaved person on English soil not to be forcibly removed from the country and sent to being introduced on any reasons, moral or political, but only by positive law, which preserves its force long after the reasons, occasions, and time itself from whence it was created is erased from memory. It is so odious that nothing can be suffered to support it but positive law. Whatever inconveniences, therefore, may follow from the decision, I cannot say this case is allowed or approved by the law of England, and therefore the black must be discharged. In 1772, they abolished slavery. Cultural divide, he says. When was that one document, when was that thing written? Wasn't it? How long did it take to get information to the 13 colonies? Blessed souls, did it what? Colonial America. Okay, I kind of want to dunk on this. I'm sorry, people. I'm dunking on this. Okay, well. It was like 3 months, wasn't it? Okay, 6 to 8 weeks or longer. Okay. 6 to 8 weeks. So they probably had fights over that shit. Alright, I'm dunking on this real quick. The United States was formed from 13 British colonies in 1776. That's technically true. Many of these colonies had been around for well over 100 years, including the first colony of Virginia, which was founded in 1607. Yeah, true. The colony is a region of land that is under the political control of another country. True. Usually the controlling country is physically far away from the colony, as was the case with England and the American colonies. Colonies are typically founded and settled by people from the home country. However, there may also be settlers from other countries. That's technically true. This is especially true of the American colonies, which had settlers from all over Europe. Yes. List of the 13 colonies and the years they were founded, with a note on how they were founded. John Smith and the London Company, Virginia. Yep. They were founded by the Dutch, became a British colony in 1664. So the British took over New York because that's what they did with everything. Later, John Wheelwright was the first landholder in New Hampshire. Okay. Puritans looking for religious freedom went to Massachusetts Bay. Massachusetts. And they went to Pennsylvania. Penn's Woods, William Penn. Right? William Penn and the Quakers. Yep. Maryland, George, and Cecil Calvert as a safe haven for Catholics. Maryland. Connecticut, Thomas Hooker after he was told to leave Massachusetts. Oh, okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty fucking good. Rhode Island, Roger Williams to have a place of religious freedom for all. What a fucking Chad. That guy. I mean, probably owned slaves, so not really a Chad, but you know, religious freedom for all. Cool. Peter Minuit and the New Sweden Company British took over in 1660. Fucking Brits. North Carolina, 1663, originally part of the province of Carolina, split off from South Carolina in 1712. Yep. New Jersey, settled by the Dutch, took over. Yep, of course. You fucking... This line, just the English took over in 1664, is just a line that should be repeated throughout every single thing. The English took over in 1664. That's just what fucking happened for a period of time. 110 years. William Penn and the Quakers. Georgia, 1732. James Oglethorpe as a settlement for debtors. Okay. Not sure what that actually is. Yeah. Southern colonies, an interesting fact about the colonies. Yeah, okay, so they're better. Never became states, includes the lost city of Roanoke and Plymouth Colony, which became part of Massachusetts Bay Colony. Life was difficult for early colonists. Yeah, I'm sure. Less than half the first settlers survived the first winter at both Jamestown, Virginia, and at the Plymouth Colony. Well, yeah, it's cold. Y'all weren't fucking prepared for this shit, and you didn't know how to grow food, and you were killing the people that did. So that's on you. Many of the colonies were named after the rulers of England, including the Carolinas for King Charles, Virginia for Virgin Queen Elizabeth, and Georgia for King George. Massachusetts was named after a local tribe of Native Americans. I bet they were killed. Wait, were they? I don't know. I don't know all the tribes. I really don't. I'm not even going to pretend to. England also had colonies north of 13 colonies, including Newfoundland and Nova Scotia. Of course they did. New York City was originally called New Amsterdam, yep, and was part of the Dutch colony of New Netherland, but, that didn't happen. Okay. Wow, they have a... What? No, that's wrong. No. Toss this section. The roots of slavery in America began with indentured servants. No, that was the guys. I mean, I guess, yeah. These people were brought over from Britain as laborers. Many of the people agreed to work for 7 years in return for their passage to the Americas. Others were in debt or were criminals and were forced to work as indentured servants to pay for the debts or crimes. And the first Africans in the colonies arrived in Virginia in 1619. Okay. They were sold as indentured servants and were likely set free after they served. No. As the need for manual labor grew in the colonies, indentured servants became harder to get and more expensive. The first slaves were African indentured servants who were forced to be indentured servants for the rest of their lives. By the late 1600s, slavery of Africans became common in the colonies. New laws called slave codes were passed in the early 1700s that formalized the legal rights of slave owners and the status of slaves. Slaves worked all sorts of jobs. Many slaves were field hands who worked with tobacco fields and the southern colonies. Yep, that's true. Other slaves were house slaves. Yep, that's also true. This is also true, differently depending on their masters. In general, field slaves were treated worse than house slaves. Yes, field slaves were sometimes beaten and whipped. Usually they were forced to look. Okay, but they can't tell kids. They were just... Even for slaves who were being treated by... So being a slave was an awful life. Slaves had no rights and were under orders from their masters 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They could be bought or sold at any time, or seldom able to live together for long as a family. Children were often sold as soon as they could work, never see their parents again. Interesting facts about slavery during... Wow, okay, well. Many Native Americans were also captured and forced into slavery. Yep, slave became symbols of wealth and social status to plantation owners in the South. Yep. Not all Africans living in the American colonies were slaves. That's true. As of 1790, around 80% of African Americans were free. I don't know about that one. By the middle of the 1700s. What is this fucking site? Ducksters? Yeah, I don't know about that. Sure. I mean, they've got some basic shit. Who's your favorite fucking... I hate all of them. What do you mean? Get that shit out of here.
There was a huge divide before that for decades.
It wasn't about the Twinings.
All right. Was.
Damn you, Earl Grey.
I mean, that plays into it. Bergamot was a difficult commodity back in the day. If you saw a bergamot, is it a bergamot? I don't know.
I
don't know anything about bergamot outside of Earl Grey. Can someone, I want to read that in the chat later. Bergamot, I believe, is a citrus fruit.
Ooh, stay tuned for answers on that one.
I would not know a bergamot if I saw it right now. If a bergamot rolled across this table, what is it, a little cutie?
Oh.
No, it's a bergamot.
Bergamot Google Trends just went from 0 to like.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a bergamot?
It's like a green
It says
orange.
a bergamot orange, but it looks like a lime.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Something shouldn't be called an orange if it's green.
Yeah. The adjective is incorrect.
It's been phased out.
Actually, it's not offensive to me. I can't tell, so it's totally fine.
He positively loves bergamot.
I do.
Okay. Let's go back. Let's move here because there's a lot to continually unpack with each state. And hopefully we'll get back to you with some word from the clerks in Michigan. Don't hold it.
He really likes to be dumb. Okay, so is he going to keep talking about election shit?
This kind of ties into the fact that Biden announced his pick for budget chief was Neera Tanden. Is that how I got it? Neera Tanden. Who is...
Ooh, is he going to mull over it? Because I really hope he does. I can agree with him if he does.
Is the president for the Center of American Progress, and she immediately began deleting her Russian collusion tweets regarding the 2016 election. Now, here is maybe why. Because even if you go back then, people like Stelter, Brian Newsom's money, completely straight Stelter, talked about how voting machines could be compromised. And he was the one saying recently, we don't have that clip right now. We have the clips of Rachel Maddow from before. But he was trying to say that now it's a conspiracy theory. So this is their claim now, then we'll go to their claims before.
This conspiracy crap is just like Trump's anti-media enemy of the people smear. It's a slow-acting poison that is crippling the American body politic.
Slow-acting poison, like your thyroid.
Jeez.
I'm not a good converter from free T3 to T4. It's glandular.
I expected him to just snap at the end.
I'm making fun of a man for things beyond their control.
You ever think that Brian Stelter is secretly a little piggy who built his house out of straw?
Whoa.
What?
Whoa.
I don't just mean the overweight joke, though, I do. But I mean, didn't have the foresight when the wolf is known for huffing and puffing and blowing homes down, just like throwing out some reeds. He's like, that's good enough.
He stopped listening at blowing.
You have
homophobia. Terrible.
That way.
I am. I'm sorry. I don't know if I am.
Don't blow my house down. I'll open the door. And that third piggy had to be pissed. He said, "Well, do you really have to crash on my couch for?" It's like, well, I don't have a house. You built it out of straw. Okay.
Yeah, I told you.
You saw me building it with bricks. At the same time, you picked straw.
Lesson: lock the door.
Is this
okay.
a sore spot for you?
So that is Brian Stelter now saying it's a conspiracy, and I think we have the clip of Stelter, or at least CNN in 2016, talking about the vulnerability of the voting machines. Here we go.
What are other ways that this could be vulnerable?
These devices have to communicate with some sort of database system. We don't know what the transport network looks like between this machine and the actual database server. So anywhere along that path, if a hacker was to have something installed, then the communications could be intercepted.
Given all this research, what would you say is safer, electronic voting or voting paper?
Well, I can tell you this year I will be voting via paper with a mail-in ballot.
As someone who is kind of knee-deep in the vulnerabilities, he always sees like the worst could happen. What keeps you up at night?
A compromised election.
Oh! This
It doesn't even matter.
Conspiracy crap is too much.
I wonder if we'll be fact. You know, what would be hilarious if we get fact checked for that clip.
Yeah. This is disputed.
Don't worry, Susan Wojcicki. We got plenty more where that came from. Because even MSNBC now they didn't just report specific on voter fraud in 2016.
No.
So we've gone CNN now, CNN 2016. Let's go MSNBC 2018, specifically talking about Dominion vulnerabilities.
We reached out to all 9 companies that you named for their response to the story, and they all essentially echo 3 main points from the joint statement signed by Clear Ballot, Dominion Voting Systems, Election Systems, and Software Heart and Unison, saying, quote, voting systems were not hacked or compromised in the 2016 election.
Well, there's been a lot of cybersecurity experts recently saying there are all kinds of ways that you can tamper with the either official or unofficial results if you can exploit some of these flaws. You go to the companies, as I have, and you ask them to talk about this, and they don't want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. We reached out for comment, by the way, but suddenly they disappeared. So that's
they closed all their offices.
The Dominion offices. Just no more LinkedIn, no more offices. They're just gone. Like, hey, Dominion, can you? Wow, there's just a Dominion employee shaped hole in the wall,
like a vacant lot.
Yeah. It's just a Dominion employee dust cloud from where they used to be.
Oh my gosh!
Think about that for a second. You know what? Here's the thing, MSNBC. Our greatest sin was taking you seriously. We trusted you. You said they were vulnerable. We said, you know what? Maybe MSNBC can something. Blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe that's the same.
It's interesting that they came out with all of these tales of how dangerous this could be right after Donald Trump was elected, trying to sow doubt. And then in 2018, when more Republicans were elected, trying to sow further doubt. And then in 2020, no, everything's fine.
Right. No doubt at all.
Well, what I think they're saying is don't take us seriously.
So here's the deal with that. In 2016, media wanted to do anything they could to justify Trump winning. It's true. It's true, folks. In 2016, they wanted to try and justify it. There were also, 2016 election fraud claims. Four documented cases of voter fraud in the 2016 election. Turns out, no. Oh, what's this? Allow ads. Continue to site. Fact check meme makes false claims about media's 2016 and 2020 election coverage. The media said Russia stole the election in 2016, now says it was impossible to steal. The voting non-citizen affected. Okay, or more. Media election 2020, CNN fake news, MAGA, and funny memes. Questions about voter. Okay. USA Today's analysis concludes the media did not report Russia stole the election in 2016 and is not now reporting that 2020 would be impossible to steal. Rather, major media outlets have reported that Russia sought to use misinformation to influence American voters in 2016 and are now reporting that 2020 election fraud claims are unsupported. Boom. Which is, what I remember the coverage being. Just saying. They're good there. Boom. So, I don't know what the absolute shit he's talking about. Oh shit, 2 hours and 45 minutes. Still nobody here. Okay. But that's alright, because I think I'm about to wrap this up, find myself a snack, and then get on and play some video games before I have to go to bed and go to work tomorrow. So thanks for tuning in or watching after the fact. Hit the like, subscribe, comment thing, dislike if you really just dislike what I do here. You know, give me feedback or whatever. It's cool. Alright. Good night, everybody.